The first movement ayahuasca, I went into feeling that I was broken and that I needed to constantly fix something about myself. And there was an underlying feeling that I realize now that I've carried with me for a very, very long time, decades, that I didn't deserve to have good things happen to me and that I deserve to have negative things happen. And I remember in the first experience coming in feeling very closed off to other people. I felt like I had a lot of very strong walls that were up. And during the first experience, I did let go of a lot of anger. And I remember that feeling like the first probably big release where I felt like something's shifting, but I couldn't really put my finger on what it was. And I left there feeling different, but it wasn't like a huge aha moment, though it felt good. And then my continued work with Richard in the in-between had a lot to do with really finding the intensity and being able to get myself up to an escalated point where I maybe feel overwhelmed. But then being able to win that fight and bring myself back down so that it wasn't so uncomfortable. So we worked a lot on doing that. So pushing those boundaries to where I would continue to not avoid the fight or the conflict. I think I spent a lot of time sheltering in place, so anything overwhelming was something I would immediately shy away from. So a lot of activities and my plan involved that, but balancing it with self-love and self-kindness. So long meditative walks and really trying to understand where I was at mentally to determine what I needed to be kind to myself, but not easy on myself. And I think that all of that sort of slowly integrated over time, and I didn't really realize it. I had noticed shifts in my mental state. So for instance, a huge change for me was that I started waking up and being in a good mood. And I don't remember ever waking up in a good mood and feeling like more days than not, I'm waking up happy. And that's something that was so foreign to me that I didn't really even think was possible. Taking those small wins, and then I sort of had this moment of a very big win where all of a sudden it was 9 months after the first one, I was doing just a basic flow type workout. I was traveling for work, so just trying to get like a sense of calm before. And immediately I heard a song that I had used during my gauntlet for the first ayahuasca. And I was overcome with like happiness and joy and empowerment, where that song used to make me feel angry, ashamed, pain. It brought out such strong negative emotions. And this time, like, I got super happy and I felt empowered, and I felt 3 belief changes came right away. And one was that I didn't deserve what happened to me. I would have never allowed certain circumstances to happen today. I've changed so much into a different person that some of the things in my past I would have never allowed today. And that I do deserve joy. And that has since then really opened me up to new experiences in other people. So coming now to the second one in this new framework has been a totally different experience, not just with the people that are here. I feel like I'm a different person and that I'm more open and more relaxed and willing to converse and be curious. But in all of the activities and moving through this, the gamut of emotions was so different. And I feel like I'm no longer feeling broken. I'm ready. I'm exploring what my potential is, and Richard's helping navigate that instead of something's wrong with me, I need to fix it. I feel now that I'm moving towards just a continued evolution of exploring where my potential goes. Yeah, I think I've shifted. So initially when I before the first one, my pain was predominantly in my lower back and left shoulder. And I would say that my left shoulder will still, I'll still start to feel it, but I understand that might be more social cues, so I'm able to adjust my environment or my beliefs to kind of change that, and the pain actually goes away. I have not had lower back pain really since starting to work with Richard, which is amazing in itself. This one I have felt much more glutes and hamstrings, and I feel like that's part of the we've evolved a little bit from the upper body and back, and I think now some of my next step of growth, I think, is towards those lower body muscles. Yeah, I feel like with everything, it is like a navigation, and so the journey that I've been on and the things that I've sort of gotten acceptance from have opened me up to understand what sort of the next level of things I need to accept or respond to, or different directions. Now I'm in a position, and with the way that we're going to structure like my follow-up, if you will, is towards what now it's not that life has happened to me and I have to figure out how to carry that or manage it. Now it's like, what do I want my life to look like? So my roadmap moving forward is going to be focused sort of on that. What type of acceptance comes next, or what is going to help me now put together the life I want, instead of feeling like this was the hand I was dealt. Now I feel like I can actually make things the way that I want them, and I feel like I have a good path to do so, both with the coaching and the exercise movement pieces. Yeah, I would say I was one of my barriers were just going to meet new people, and going through an intense experience with others was difficult for me to accept. And I also was worried that my level of fitness wouldn't allow me to do like what I imagined would be like a super intense activities. And I think that I would definitely say that neither of those really are barriers. Neither were. So each activity, each movement session, it really is geared towards what you can do. It's not about moving the weight. It's really about what you're going to learn from it, the activity. So a level of fitness is really sort of just a secondary piece of this. I don't think it was not as much as I had in my head that maybe that would be something that I would struggle with. But it was much more the emotional responses that came, not the actual, not the actual movements themselves. I would say the number one highlight from this, I've got two. So I will say that the people, I'm so thankful, because I think that with where I'm at and having this experience twice and coming at it from a different viewpoint, I have met and I feel like I've formed bonds with these incredible people that are here. So that was a huge highlight, and just learning about different people from different areas of the world is amazing. The second, I would say that this time in the final day Swami, I felt like it really was like a transcendent experience. I was seeing the colors of the chakra for the first time, and laughter was elicited, and I didn't think that was possible, because usually my swamis come with like a lot of more sadness and getting the sadness out, so there's a lot of previously crying, which also happened, but I didn't really think that I would ever have a laughter experience, and so to have a spontaneous laughter from the Swami was incredible. I mean, it was unbelievable. Transformational, emotional, and joyful.